Hello and welcome to the Metal Breakdown Podcast. In today's episode, we'll be reviewing the new Insomnium album, Anno 1696. We've just listened to the album and we are about to give our thoughts on each individual song as we go through the album, and then we'll finish off with our review of the album in a whole. We've not talked about it, but we did listen to it together.
We did. Without further ado, I guess we'll go into it. We have obviously not said anything, but we'll start with the first song of the album, and that is the title track.
It's not got the Anno in, but it's got the 1696.
Yeah. So we've rated each song out of 10 based on initial listen, and I gave 1696 a 9 out of 10. I loved it. I wish the intro lasted a little bit longer, but I did really enjoy it still. Folky start. Love it. Absolutely what I want from Insomnium, and the entire song really gave me a Winter's Gate sort of vibe, which is my favourite album of theirs, personally.
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
It's not that I disliked it, and it is... I was debating putting it on my playlist. And yeah, I enjoyed the folky start. Had some good slides in there, some nice guitar slides. Quite enjoy a good guitar slide. But yeah. It was black metal, but it didn't really capture me. It didn't really. That was the thing. I'm not sure if it was that it was long, but it didn't have a hook that I wanted it to have.
It's really weird because I probably think that might be my favourite track on the album.
It certainly wasn't mine.
I say it very much gave me that sort of bite-sized piece, Winter's Gate, which again is my favourite era of theirs. So I could really have much complaints. On to the next one.
White Christ featuring someone I can't remember.
The dude from Rotting Christ, I believe. And the main thing or takeaway I got from this song is it's a Rotting Christ song.
I was like, it's fine. It's pretty generic.
Yeah,
it's generic Melodeath.
I thought it was pretty cool. I gave it a 7 personally. I thought the end was pretty fun. But yeah, I thought it was decent.
I gave it a 5.5.
Ooh!
I was just nothing. It just felt like a lot of Insomnium stuff, and I was just like, eh.
See, I really like Rotting Christ. So I thought I enjoyed the mix, but it did want a little bit more. Maybe it'll be better on a couple more listens, but after one listen,
since it was one of the singles, I've given it a few listens. I've given all the singles a few listens. And out of the singles, it was my least favourite. It wasn't my least favourite on the album, but I was like, it didn't capture me. I was just kind of bored.
See, I don't really listen to singles because sometimes I don't like to ruin the context of the album. I do feel some songs are better and some songs are worse when listened to in album form, and I don't really want to get burnt out on a certain song before it even comes out, really.
Well, I was kind of hyped for this album, and I wanted to see what it'd sound like. But all the singles gave me was that it was just going to be another Insomnium album, and we'll see that trend going through each of my songs as we talk about them.
Well, the next song is God Forsaken, and this might be my favourite off the album, because that start, all I've wrote in my notes is just yes, 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 yes. And then I've put femme vocals, very nice, thumbs up. Classical Insomnium riff, mwah. And then also mid riff, a lot more yeses. Pretty good, 8.5. I really enjoyed it. I say it very much was a classic Insomnium song in a lot of ways, but with almost like an amorphous vibe at times. So yeah, pretty enjoyable for me.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. It didn't quite hit that 1696 vibe for me. I enjoyed the atmosphere. It was very atmospheric.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the feature on it. The female vocals were really nice. I've put it had some nice chunk on the bridge of the song, which I quite enjoyed. However, the thing that knocked it down points was the fact it just felt long.
Oh, I didn't really have a problem with that.
It might have been that it was a long song, but
I actually don't know what the track length is.
I don't know either.
I'll let you keep talking while I Google that.
Yeah, even if it is like a 10-minute plus long song, it bored me and it felt long.
It was
It's
an
8
8-minute
minute.
35, and to
It
be honest, I did not feel it felt too
It
long. I
felt
thought
long.
it felt appropriate.
It felt longer than that to me, while the other ones didn't necessarily feel that.
Well, the next track, Lillian, which I believe was another single.
The first single.
It was only 4.5 minutes, but in my opinion, that was too long for me. I gave this a 5. It's pretty forgettable. It felt like a lot of the worst of modern Insomnium, in the sense that it just sort of meandered. It wasn't bad per se, but it's not one of them songs I'm probably going to go back to. Yeah.
I feel the same in the sense of I'm probably not going to go back to it that much. I gave it a 6.5.
Okay.
Which I'm probably going to knock down in the future.
This is probably the closest we've aligned on these so far.
I enjoyed how emotionally charged it was.
Right.
That's something I quite like about modern Insomnium. Is a lot of the songs are very emotionally charged.
Oh no, I do agree, but I do think they've done it better in some of the previous albums as well.
But I agree with you. It did feel like very typical Insomnium, and it wouldn't be out of place on Heart Like a Grave.
No. Now the next song really could be on that album, and that was Starless Path. To me, it very felt a bit paint by numbers at times, but did really enjoy that solo. As you commented when it came out, I immediately picked up my phone to go, notes time! So, no, I really enjoyed that solo. It was quite a nice touch at the end. Probably give it a 7 overall. Started a bit mid, was pretty generic, but solo really sort of gave it a nice touch at the end. It was quite enjoyable. It was alright. It was alright.
Here's where we're going to disagree. I gave it a 4.5. This was my lowest rated of all of them.
Oh, Jesus.
It did not interest me. I was pretty bored. I enjoyed the piano interlude and the guitar solo.
Yeah.
But I could not get into the song. I was bored. There was nothing for me to grab onto. I don't even remember it.
I will say this: the second section of this album is, for me, weaker overall.
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't know.
Well, we'll move on to the next song either way.
Well, let me have a look at the track list again. It's a 8 song.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty even. I think it's got its highs and lows. And I'll show you my ratings when we're done so we can compare.
Yeah. Well, the next song is The Witch Hunter. And I give this a 3. Which might be the most controversial thing on the album.
Yeah, that's controversial for me.
Again, like you were in the last song, this song bored me. I didn't really have much to say about it at all. In fact, I actively wrote nothing. I just put, no, 3. Everything else on here, I wrote at least something. But this song just came and it went. And it was almost 6 minutes, which is kind of worrying. But yeah, it really just happened. I said, nah, meander.
Again, we're going to see our disagreements. I gave it an 8. I gave this a higher than 1696.
Jesus.
I thoroughly enjoyed the beat for this. It was really fun. I really liked the cleans in the chorus, rather than the sort of growly vocals. Not necessarily harsh vocals, but growly vocals they always do. It was nice to have actual singing in there, overlaying the chorus. My problems with it was that it was quite a repetitive song, and again, very Insomnium.
Yeah, I think that was one of my problems.
Overall, this album has not really added anything from previous Insomnium works.
Yeah, even harking back to the stuff I've enjoyed, the start of the album feels very sort of Winter's Gate, as I said, for 1696. Then we get a Rotting Cry song. Then we get a little bit more Winters. Then we get really modern stuff with Lillian and Starless Path and The Witch Hunter. So we've kind of jumped between the modern eras, but maybe not quite in a connected way.
Well, we'll move on to the next song, The Unrest. I gave this one also an 8 out of 10.
I give it a 6,
It,
which I felt harsh, but like it was an okay interlude sort of song, or like build up, but like it just. I'm gonna say this, and I might get kicked for this, but I felt like I was listening to a Ghost song, which sounds insane.
I don't hear that at all.
But it was more the melodies. Almost gave me like, I can't remember the name of the song, but one of the instrumentals off the 4th Ghost album that is named.
Tom looks this up now, live on the air.
I am currently looking up because I do not remember off the top of my head. How the on earth? Prequel, and the specific song I'm thinking of is Helen Forster. Some of the melodies just gave me that sort of Ghost vibe, which is not a bad thing. It just wasn't that interesting.
For me, I just found it like just nice, chill, good vibes. It was relaxing. The reason it didn't get higher because there's nothing too out there.
Yeah.
It was pretty generically chill, but I like a nice chill song. I tend to like my interlude songs. It made me feel relaxed. It felt nice. It's probably going on my atmospheric playlist.
Yeah. I think I do need to give it more listens to really give it a proper review. I mean, this is an intentional first listen review. So maybe that'll change in future. But off first listen, I gave it a 6. And the final song.
The Rapids. I gave it a 6.5.
I give it an 8. I thought this was probably by far the best song in the second half. I gave it an 8 because it really reminded me in some ways of Omnium Gatherum. So a lot of the sort of lead guitar parts really sort of gave me that Omnium Gatherum sort of vibe.
I've got written down here that it's got like a fun beat and a nice gallop to it. I like that gallop feel.
Yeah, it was the most aggressive, honestly. It really came out of nowhere. I probably wasn't expecting it. So we were listening to it at the time and was like, yep, that song name is apt. That feels very fitting.
It fits the album's vibes, but overall in the song I was pretty uninterested.
Yeah. Well, no, I quite enjoyed it.
As the song, I found the song just not particular. Apart from like the Rapids bit where it sort of kicks in.
Yeah.
I wasn't particularly interested that much in the song.
Right. So overall, let's give our general rating of the album. I'll go first. I'm gonna give the album overall a 7 out of 10.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you. I haven't wrote down that I'm going to give it a 7 because I can't decide, but I can't give it an 8. It's just... we've been saying this throughout. It's just another Insomnium. There's nothing interesting. There's nothing different. It's pretty generic to Melodeath with like black metal elements.
Yeah, I think with Insomnium, at least for me personally, I've been a fan of the band for a good few years. I know that they're capable of something a little bit more experimental and something to push the genre of Melodeath a little bit further.
Yeah,
so to hear them do the same album sort of again was... It's not it's a bad experience, it just... It's just more songs to listen to, you know?
They do put the mellow in Melodeath.
Yes.
But it's just... Yeah, it doesn't... I didn't feel pumped up. I was kind of hyped for the album because I knew it was an Insomnium, but having listened to the singles, it didn't hype me up. We've got Haken coming out on Friday.
Yeah, now I'm excited.
Now that's exciting because each of those songs is different. It feels like Haken, but it feels new. It feels punchy, unlike this, which has just felt like it just feels like they're kind of churning it out for the sake of it.
Yeah, I feel like this could have done with a little bit more time brewing. And that's not, as I said, that's not to call the album bad. I mean, the 7's not bad. It is still an enjoyable listen. And it definitely does have its moments. But...
It has its moments, but nothing really made me go, wow, this is a fantastic album.
I say, as a guy that tends to mostly listen to things in just album form, this is probably one of them albums where I'm actively not going to do that.
Well, I also quite like just listening to albums through, not so much as you,
yeah,
but it's the album had its vibes, and it knew its vibes, and it stuck to them. However, it didn't particularly have much of a flow.
No, I mean, you can categorize it really into three parts. There's 1696 into White Christ into Godforsaken, which you can sort of lump together. Lillian, Starless Path, and Witch Hunter, you can lump together. And then Unrest into Rapids, which again, Unrest and Rapids aren't really alike, so you could almost argue 4 sections, really.
I mean, you could, as we were saying, split it in half. But I think each half has got a bad song for me, as we've heard in the ratings. And each half has 2 good songs, and then leaving the last 2 songs being the mediocre ones of each half.
Yeah, for being 50 minutes, it didn't really feel that. There's 50 minutes here, but like, I almost feel like there wasn't 50 minutes of content to listen to.
It felt like 50 minutes, to me at least.
Yeah, that's just me.
The good songs, they went as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Like, you enjoyed them, but they don't feel long. But the songs that dragged. I felt like I was there, like, if we got 15-minute songs here, because they just kept going, and I was waiting for the next one. I'd look up from my phone and see that we're on the same song, and I'm like, can we please just move on?
Well, that's our thoughts on Insomnium's brand new album. Let us know what you think.
Anno 1696.
That is the album.
I'm going to forget that name, because most Insomnium album names suck.
Other than Winter's Gate.
Winter's Gate's easy to remember.
Love that. Right, thank you. Goodbye.
Cheese.